Hello and welcome to Inside the Black Box. This series is twofold. One, to sharpen my skills by upsetting every veteran programming out there, and two, to create a game. As of right now, this will only be a text-based game because I'm not so well in the art department on such a scale that I could sell it or feel like shipping it out. But I love programming, so we'll start with that. Now, I may cut out some scenes that take too much time, and hopefully you'll be able to learn something as I learn how to program. Alright, let's start with text. Actually, what I like to do first is to create an assets folder first. I think it goes here. Now I know that I am not putting pictures in this game, but I might, so I like to be prepared. And I'm going to be using different fonts because that's about the only different thing I could use in this game. It's going to be completely text-based. And a few more things. I'm going to make another class because I like to jump ahead. Alright, so I actually made two classes. One is enemy and the other is player. I'm going to have player inherit from enemy. Just to save on code. I hope if I'm doing this properly. Now to give it some variables. There's one thing I learned programming, it's not to have global variables, so I'll just make all these private for now. And just name it stats. I could do a list, but I like to initialize how many I have because the list can go endless. Okay, that should be good. So I'm going to do and this is our method. It'll call this class. Can't initialize that here. That's a mistake. It's private though. Oh yeah. I'm using C# 2008. It's quite an old program, but it's really the only one I'm used to. So this will be, one more thing, always leave comments for yourself. If you don't leave comments, you will get lost in your own programming. So, alright. Stats. So, what I also like to do is, well, let me just write 0 is for health. No, that will be for current health. Max health. See, I won't have max health be changed, so that way it can't go above it, or if he heals it, or if it heals itself, it won't go crazy over. Oops, screwed up there. And that way it's less broken. I find more controls. I've actually done this program a couple times, but I keep losing it. So here's what we're going to do. This stats is equal to stats. I like to keep the name the same, so no matter how many methods it goes through, I don't lose track of it. Also this, of course, it means that in this method, this version of stats will be equal to the stats that's coming in through this method. Sorry if I'm hurting your ears by not knowing the technical terms. Let me see, public int, and I want a way to return it and change it. I'm not sure if I'm being redundant by keeping it private or what's up. Uh-oh. I haven't programmed in a while. What's the problem? Hold on. Alright, apparently the problem is that I tried to do what I was doing. So let's do it this way. I'm going to do health. I'm going to name them separately. Get, return. Now I said maybe I should do, there we go, current health. You want to do descriptive names for your variables so you don't get lost. It'll be very difficult if you name your variables like AV79GQ exclamation point, and that's an acronym for something. There are millions of programmers, I bet you that has been used as an acronym before. There we go. Current health, it'll get it. Now set stats for the value. And there we go, now I'll get current health. And there we go. I merely copied and pasted current health, changed the names, and changed the numbers. One thing you want to do if you're a novice programmer is never put a space here. It won't work. And you'll find your own programming style in time. It takes a bit. I've been going on and off in programming for a while, and I've changed a whole lot. Now, you know what? I've decided I'm going to change this. You want to go use refactor. Never just rechange it. This will save you a lot of time. I'm going to name it bars. And apply. There we go. Because what I really want, because you know, health bars, energy bars. I haven't found any energy bars I like though. Change that too. There's only 2 and I know exactly where they are. Stats is going to be things for like strength, speed, intelligence. By the way, I named my game Last Infection, so I'm not sure how intelligence is going to fit into my zombie characters, which I'll be doing. So I'm just going to copy and paste these, turn it over to stats, and name my stats. Alright, copied and pasted. Now I want to show you a shortcut. So before, I'm going to replace all these bars into stats. So I'm going to click and drag, hit Control F, and then I'm going to go to Quick Replace, Bars, Stats, Replace All. Because I've selected all that text before doing Control Find, it's only going to change what's in here. Now to change all these zeros into some viable numbers. And there we have it, 7 stats. Now, current strength and max strength, or current max for the stats, are going to be a little different, so I'll leave a note for myself. Exactly what it means. Oh, I should do cur. Alright, leave another note for max. Alright, and I'm going to leave notes up here because these cur, however you want to say it. Maybe I'll just add an E. Nope. I'll just use data. Now the reason that I've started doing maxed is so that they don't get ridiculously buffed. Now here's the thing, when you're changing stats in a game, if you change max health, then when they respawn, it's just a lot. I like to keep this information separated. But hey, if anyone's got any ideas on how they do their game, that will help so I don't have so many different spots I need to save or so much variables in my game, that'd be great. But so far from what I've seen, this is an efficient way to do it. Alright, another thing to do is I'm going to just real quick add a skills class. I'll be doing that later. This is how the enemies will know how to attack, all the chance stuff in there. It's a little bit more complicated and it will take a whole lot more time. So for now I'm just going to do, how should I do this? Skills. I'll do, nah, I don't like doing, I'll do that way. I think the other way is called jagged, if I remember correctly. So I'm going to have, yeah, like the same. I'm not sure if there's an, oh, nope, not an error. That's great. Alright, skills I'm going to implement later. I have two here. One is for the skill ID, the other is chance. But I might implement, you know what? Let's do 3. There we go. I'll leave a little note here. Always leave yourself notes so you don't forget. So I'm going to have, here's what I like to do. X, meaning for any number. Leave these empty. Skill ID. Shoot, that's not going to be helpful. Skill level. That way, it's not just getting skills. You get to level up your skills. Let's see how that pans out. Skill use chance. I'm not sure how much I'll do. I may not even end up using 3. I may end up using 1. I think skill ID and skill level is pretty much set. Skill use chance, that'll basically be only for enemy use. Or I might just change it around for the player to being hit chance. Never mind, hit chance is needed for enemies too. It's a lot of far thinking ahead. I'll end up drawing diagrams for it. I may even include pictures. Alright, I quickly went over to the player and I filled it up. No, inherently, I cannot spell inherent right. Give me a moment. Alright, so what I've done now is all that work I did in enemy is going to work for me in player. I'm going to give you a demonstration, but just to show you that all of these publics, these variables I've made, the numbers, the variables up here are going to be usable whenever I make a player. Now there's some global variables up here. I'm going to name it player because I am really inventive with names. Just for now. I'm not going to do enemies just yet. I'm going to make a separate class for battles and a separate class for traveling just to keep it a little more, oh, what is that word, that dreaded word, organized. Can anyone do that? Alright, I have started drawing in Draw. Woo! Now whatever you do, don't forget begin and end for Sprite Batch. I'm going to have to make a little font. This will help to see if my assets folder is made correctly. Let's go over to assets, fonts, add. You can't see it because it's cut off. You're just going to hit new item, and font should be oh god, where is it? Hold on. Alright, so I found the thing I was looking for. Sprite font, I'm going to name it Verdana. It's different than what I remember, so I'm just going to pull assets up here. This will be the last thing I show y'all. Now what I did was I just cut and paste assets fonts. I added new item. There was Sprite font. I named it. Now for font name, I'm going to go to Verdana. Now this font name could be any name that you have. Like if you have Word, some computers have Mistral, some don't. Mistral. Oh. It's a cool font. All you do is type it in there and boom, it'll find it for you. Size, I'll go with 10, no spacing. Use kerning, I guess. I can make it bold too. Don't delete any of this. It's good for, of course you could always just make a new Sprite font. I think that's fine. Alright, now to use the font. Alright, here's another little trick. As you can see, I generate this new font. If you want to load any assets, you have to use content.load. I added the name. Now normally this would work, but I added Verdana into assets and fonts, so there's one thing I gotta do. Alright, so I did assets, fonts, Verdana. You can use any string in order to get to it, but I like to keep my assets in different folders. There's one more thing, Sprite Brats drawstring. I took the liberty of filling it in. Font is a new content.load we just did. Input any text you want here, where you want it in your screen, and the color. Now let's run and see if it works. I'll pause. Alright, here we go. Deployment errors. No. It's because there are no devices. I started this as an Xbox 360, so I have to make it a Windows copy. That's easy. Right click, and we're going to create a copy of project for Windows. That's grayed out because I have it here, so I'm just going to delete it real quick. There we go. Windows, yes. Oh, it's going to make multiple copies. I thought I deleted it permanently. Oh well. So what you want to do is build, is if you play it at this point, it's just going to do the Xbox one again, and then debug. Now let's wait. And here we go. Hello world. Right now my mouse isn't showing up on it, but that's fine. There's not a font to take care of it. I won't be using a mouse in this game though. And here we go. I just learned that the Windows version will automatically update when I edit the Xbox version. So yay, I won't have to delete it and end up with probably a whole bunch of copies. I'll end here for today and get back to creating this game at a later point. I hope you all have some tips you want to give me, or you learned something from this, or maybe I even managed to get you interested in programming. It could get really fun, it could get really annoying, but there's nothing just like creating something that was made out of nothing. So all those other crafters out there and artists, you'll know what I'm talking about. See ya!